So, hello everyone. Thanks for joining in. I'm Hitesh Kumar. I'm working as a senior data scientist at OLX. So, I'll be taking you through the journey where I'll discuss how we use locations simply but effectively to remain customer centric and how we enhance user experience to grow our business through locations. So, first of all, about okay, one sec. Muthu, can you go to the next slide? Like, I'm not able to control it. So, first of all, about OLX. So, OLX is a classifieds platform where buying and selling of goods happen, like electronic fashion items, furniture, household items. So, and like how it happens is the person, the provider, the goods or service provider lists their items onto the platform, and intended buyers go through the listed items via app browsing. If a browser is interested in any item, he or she makes the makes an offer to buy that. And if both the buyers and sellers are like happy with the deal, the transaction happens, right? So that's the ecosystem of how the classified platform works. So in the ecosystem, if we talk about, there are two characters, sellers and buyers, who just interact on the platform to fulfill their needs. Now, the interesting thing is both sellers and buyers, they are completing each other. Sellers wants to be on the platform to sell their goods, and buyers to get a better priced commodity. Sellers come to the platform because there are more buyers, right? So they are getting more and more offers onto the platform, and they get out the best deal if they have more and more buyers. And similarly, if we talk about the buyers, they come here because we have more and more sellers onto the platform. So they get variety out of it, right? So a buyer will get hundreds of options to buy a car, right? So moving on to the next slide, like, so moving towards the agenda, how locations can improve the user experience. So firstly, talking about the user experience, I would like to quote Rancho from famous Bollywood movie Three Idiots. Don't chase success, chase excellence, and success will follow. So, talking about the business analogy for this, the excellence part comes in parallel to user experience. And if we talk about success, it goes parallel with sales and revenue, which are general business metrics, right? If we are able to crack, if we are able to deliver good user experience, our existing customers will stick to the platform and remain with our app only, right? And new users will also come onto the platform, and your business will surely grow. Now the question comes, how we can crack good user experience? The idea is, be customer centric, be customer focused, and you'll be able to give a very nice user experience, and like your customers will remain with you. Now, how to achieve this? So first of all, the main thing is knowing the product expectations, what a customer needs from the product, and what the customer's needs and concerns are. Listen to them, listen to them frequently, but not only listen them, act on them. That will surely help, right? So our focus is to be customer centric, get the needs, what are in the ecosystem of classifieds, what all can be the needs, what a buyer or a seller needs, and try to fulfill that, right? Now let's see how location helps us in achieving this for a classifieds platform. We'll go through certain use cases, how location are used for a fantastic classifieds user experience. So our first use case is content serving, where we are solving how to show relevant stuff to a browser who has come to our platform, right? So like all of us, we have two kinds of users: new users and repeat users. New users are those who are coming onto the platform for the first time. So I'm taking you through as an experience where we have location data, and one scenario we don't have location data, right? So for a new user, if we have location data, if we don't have location data and we don't have past behavior as well, because we the customer is new customer for us, right? So the best thing we can show to that customer, right, it is a drop down where he can select the city or region he wants to scroll through, right? If I'm residing in city A, I would like to filter for that city A, and whatever options I can get for a car, I'll go through them here. But like the relevancy is very low, because the cars are arranged irrespective of the user need, right? So the content served is overall popular content, but it's not relevant to the person who is browsing. So how this impacts the business? So our funnel conversions, like if we talk about this first page wherein all the ads are shown, this is our listing page. If the customer taps on any image, any ad, then he moves on to the detailed page view where he can see all the item details shared by the seller. So this conversion of listing to detailed page view and detailed page view to reply, like a successful reply, that is very low for these customers, because they are not getting relevant experience, relevant ads or relevant cars he wanted to buy, right? So less response, what it means is browser is not getting relevant content, and sellers are not getting uh, like uh, not getting enough responses. So all in all, if we talk about, it's presenting a dissatisfaction to both sellers and buyers, right? Now let's talk about Muthu, can we go to the next slide? Now let's talk about, if the user is new only, we don't have the past behavior data, but we have the location data, right? So with location data, the user experience changes drastically. So user can get a popular around you segment where he gets what's popular in the locality. So as a human behavior, we inherit a lot from our surroundings. Our likes and dislikes match. So chances of getting relevant stuff is higher here, right? Also, what we can have here is, like, we can present a new UI, user interface, where we are allowing user to select in the city or show radially. So when we show radially, what happens is, the distance, as we go down, the distance increases from the browser. So if I talk about the first segment here, it's less than 10 kilometers. So I would be more interested into the items which are close to me, right? So that's how user location is coming into the picture to show the relevant stuff. So here, how the content is served is, it's based on distance and it's ranked by popularity. So if I talk about the less than 10-kilometer bucket, if there are 20 ads here, those 20 will be like ranked according to their popularity into the location, right? So here the user is getting a bit new stuff, as well as stuff which is near to him and relevant to him, which is popular in his locality. So how it impacts is, it impacts in better conversions, like listing to ADPV ratio and the ADPV to reply ratio, both of them increases. And it also results into better stickiness of new users. Like if I was firstly onto the platform, there are higher chances that I come onto the platform again. So that's how our stickiness will improve. And like likely our sellers will get more and more replies. And the the most key win here is new user engagement gets higher, and chances of them coming back, those chances improve as we have location of those users, as they are getting relevant stuff. Now moving on to the next part, that is our next use case, where we have a repeat user, wherein we have the past behavior of the behavior of the user, as well as we have the location data. So here we have a lot of data around the about the user, right? And also the location. So we can provide multiple personalized stuff here. So first of all, there is recommended for you button. Like that tab is based on what the user was like previously searching for or was interested into those items. So like if we talk about cars, if he was replying to the ads which are of particular make and model, say he was interested into Honda City, so Honda City will be preferred there. That will come firstly onto the page, right? Next, as we have the location, we can show the popular around you tab as well, wherein like he gets what all is popular around the locality, right? And lastly, we have the radial listing as well. So a user gets most relevant stuff and personalized stuff there. So here the chances of conversion is maximum, right? We have best funnel conversions here. Like if we talk about listing to ADPV to reply, that is awesome for this recommended for you ribbon. Then it's better for popular as compared to the listing. So here also like the buyer stickiness has increased a lot, and overall like we have happy sellers and happy buyers. Both satisfaction has increased, right? Yep. So next, moving on to our next use case, wherein we can use location as a feature. So once a deal is made, once the seller and buyer both are in, like both agree to a price point, and what comes the next step is they need to meet. And as in like in today's time, what we do is we share our locations. So if we don't have this as a feature into our app, what people used to do is they switch to social media platforms like WhatsApp, and they share their locations there. But it would make a lot of difference if the user gets this feature into the app only. So user satisfaction will increase here, as now there is need to go out of the app, log into the next app, go there, share the location, come back to the app again. So this creates a unnecessary hassle into the user's mind, right? So having location sharing option into the chat of your uh, uh, classifieds application is one of the best thing you can do. One more way we can think of this location as an location as a feature is we can use it for a vernacular experience for the users. Like like India is a diverse country wherein people speak more than 20 languages, right? And based on their locations we can render the stuff onto the platform, onto the app. So for suppose in a southern part of India, if a person is talking is using app from particular state, we can load the application into the native language. That becomes very user friendly, and like the connectivity becomes more, right? Uh, can you move to the next slide? Yep. So here comes the third use case, wherein we can use location for our most important thing, that is customer safety. So it's not only new features and content which makes your brand trustworthy. Your content is of very less usage if users are not trusting your application. And as we know, fraud prevention is a very big task for a classifieds platform. Frauds happen in the form of advance payment taken by sellers, ID thefts where an account is used by fraudsters by fooling people and logging into their accounts using OTPs and all that. So these kinds of frauds are very usual in case of classifieds. So it's a dire need to work on fraud prevention onto the platform. As in fraud decreases your user trust and impacts the business growth significantly. Let's see how location can help us in building brand trust and user trust. Okay, suppose there are 100 frauds happening in a month. Okay, so what study suggests is these 100 frauds does not mean 100 fraudsters. Fraudsters are really few, very few, who are like those 20 people are doing those 100 frauds. And one more thing that is highlighted into the studies is all the frauds are concentrated at particular locations. So if we have the user locations, we can monitor content of fraud prone locations, like ad posted by sellers from these locations can be moderated manually. Like if those are good ads, you move it onto the platform. If they are bad ads, you like you don't make them live and you ban them as in like on the first step only. Also, we can take one more example here of ID theft, wherein what we can do is if a same user is logged in from location 1 and location 2, and there is a lot of action taking on that user, like a user ID. So it can be a probable case of ID theft wherein a user account is compromised. So we can take care of those cases. Like we can, if the content is coming from one of the users, we can take that into the moderation step, check that, and then only make it live, right? So by making the platform fraud free ends up into happy customers, into a trusted brand, and it means more and more business, which makes a happy company, a happy application, a happy platform. With that, I come to my thank you slide. That's it from my side. Any questions?